Imagine like the silence of a crumbling tenement building in the East Village, just its stories echoing through empty halls.
Right.
That's kind of where our deep dive takes us today.
Oh, okay.
In this world of urban legends and forgotten lives. And we're using as our source material the Pirates of Hart Island.
Okay, cool.
So we're headed to 103 Orchard Street, a building that was infamous in like the late 60s when East Village is a very different place.
Right.
And we meet John and Mike, these two boys growing up surrounded by these like almost mythic stories about this building.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just giant cockroaches or whispers of alligators in the sewers.
Right.
Those are pretty vivid, right?
Oh, yeah.
The big one, the legend that casts a shadow over everything was the disappearance of Peter Pan.
Interesting.
Not flying off to Neverland this time, but vanishing inside 103 Orchard.
Wow.
And then there's Wendy Peterson, no relation to Peter as far as anyone knew,
Okay.
who also disappeared. So you've got this building already heavy with stories.
Right.
And kids daring each other to go closer.
Yeah.
It's like asking for trouble.
Yeah.
It seems like.
It's like begging for it.
Yeah.
What strikes me immediately is how these legends become part of the boys' reality. You know, these aren't just stories.
Right.
The air they breathe, it shapes how they see that building.
Totally.
How they understand danger.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like 103 Orchard becomes a character itself.
Right.
This looming presence in their lives.
Oh, really?
And of course, John and Mike decide they're going to explore it. They're going to aim for the roof.
Classic kids.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Except with this seriously creepy backdrop.
Right, right.
Yeah. And the story doesn't skimp on the details either.
Oh, okay.
Like you can practically smell the decay, hear the floorboards groan, feel that knot of unease as they climb higher. And finally, they reach their destination, apartment 6B.
Okay.
Just the way it's described. The nailed shut door. The faded words on the nameplate never ever land.
Oh.
It sends chills down your spine.
Yeah.
This is where it gets real, even within the fiction. Yeah.
Right. This is where the story transcends a simple ghost story. And it becomes something much more unsettling. The boys have crossed a threshold, both physically into the heart of the building, but symbolically into the unknown. And the reader is right there with them.
Yeah, totally. And they know the stories. They feel the weight of this place.
Yeah.
But there's that pull.
Yeah.
You need to see what's behind the mystery.
It's the oldest story in the book, isn't it?
Right.
That morbid curiosity.
Yeah.
But here, it's not just about like a scare.
Right.
It's about the very real decay of the building, the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Almost like the setting itself is a reflection of something broken inside.
100%. And what they find when they break into apartment 6B is more disturbing than any ghost story.
Oh, really?
Imagine this. Just a sliver of moonlight illuminating the room. And in the corner, there's Bobby.
Okay.
He's described as being more decayed than alive.
Yeah.
Ravaged by like years of heroin use. But it's the details that get to me. The tools of his addiction right next to religious material.
Oh, wow.
Like he's caught between utter despair and this desperate hope for something better.
That's really interesting because that's where the story's social commentary becomes so powerful.
Right.
You know, Bobby isn't just a plot device. He embodies the tragic consequences of societal neglect, the forgotten lives lost in the shadows of progress.
And then he speaks. Barely a whisper. But he says, straight on till midnight. And as he does this, strange energy seems to flow from him, engulfing the boys.
Wow.
John and Mike are terrified, but they're frozen.
Wow.
And here's where the story takes a turn for the truly bizarre. As they're drawn closer to Bobby, he starts to change. He looks younger, healthier, like the years of hardship are melting away.
It's such a striking visual, and it speaks to that universal human longing, the desire to recapture lost youth, to turn back time.
Right.
But in this case, it takes a sinister turn, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This yearning for youth comes at the expense of others.
Exactly. John, who's always been the more timid of the two, is the first to succumb.
Right.
The story describes his life force being drained away, leaving behind an empty shell.
Wow.
It's chilling. And Mike, he tries to fight back.
Right.
But it's like that just speeds things up.
Yeah.
The story doesn't shy away from the horror of it. His youthful energy being consumed by Bobby.
Yeah.
This desperate hunger for a second chance that's gone terribly wrong.
It's a horrifying scene.
Right.
But it raises such fascinating questions about responsibility and agency.
Right.
Is Bobby truly in control? Or is he a prisoner of this desperate hunger, this need to reclaim what he's lost?
Right.
And if he's not in control, who or what is pulling the strings?
It's what makes it so unsettling.
Right.
It's not like a clear-cut good versus evil situation.
Yeah.
By the end, Bobby walks out of that building young again. But what does he carry with him? And the story ends on this incredibly bleak image. A sign on the building, coming soon. Luxury rentals.
Oh, wow. It's such a gut punch of an ending,
Right,
but
yeah.
so brilliantly executed.
Yeah.
It's like Bobby's escape is just one tiny tragedy against this larger backdrop of displacement and gentrification. The building itself, like so many places in the city, becomes a symbol of this ongoing cycle.
It goes beyond just one creepy building.
Yeah, right.
It makes you think about all the stories held in these places, all the lives touched by these forces of change. And what happens to those stories when the physical spaces are gone? They lost forever.
That's the question the story leaves us with, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a reminder that progress, for all its allure, often comes at a cost. And it forces us to confront the less glamorous side of these transformations, the human cost of urban renewal, the stories that get paved over.
It's like the Pirates of Hart Island is doing more than just telling a spooky story.
Right.
It's holding up a mirror to our fascination with youth, our fear of aging, and the lengths we'll go to hold on to the past.
Exactly. It's a cautionary tale wrapped in urban legend, reminding us that escaping into never-ever land is rarely a happy ending.
Right.
Not for Peter Pan, and certainly not for Bobby.
We really went deep on this one.
Yeah, we did.
From creepy urban legends to reflections on societal neglect, the allure and danger of eternal youth.
It's a lot to unpack.
It's a lot.
But that's the beauty of a story like this. It lingers in the mind, sparking these important conversations long after the last page is turned.
And that lingering feeling, those questions that stay with you, that's what we're all about here on The Deep Dive. So until next time, keep exploring those forgotten corners, keep asking those tough questions, and most importantly, keep diving deep.